Welcome to season 10 of Accountants Are Sexy, Changed My Mind. In this season, we have 10 brand spanking new guests to introduce you to. We'll be talking about things like exit plans, niching your business. You'll meet one of the captains. We're going to talk about finding your spiritual home, and we even have, of course, a discussion on AI and how it can improve your business. So stick with us, but before I introduce you to any guests, please meet our new sponsor, Swoop for Advisors.
For those of you who haven't heard of Swoop for Advisors, we partner with accountants and bookkeepers to help their SME clients get access to grants, loans, commercial mortgages, equity investment, R&D, savings, and much, much more. We're a one-stop shop funding platform for SMEs, helping them find all the best available options in the market across a wide range of products to support their growth at all stages of their life cycle. Our job is to make you look like the heroes in your clients' eyes.
So another massive thank you from me to Swoop for Advisors for sponsoring the show. Before I introduce you to the next guest, can I just ask for you to take a second and make sure that you are subscribed to any channel that you're watching this on, be that Spotify or Apple or iTunes or wherever you are. If you just take a moment to subscribe to the channel, it's really helpful information to us to understand how this podcast is received, and we can just continue to improve it the more we know. So thank you for taking the time, and I'm going to hand you over to the next guest. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Accountants Are Sexy, Changed My Mind. Today, I'm bringing you a fucking delight, by the way. I'm just going to kick that off and frame it. So Paula Wingate, she's one of my mentors. She's been in my world for about a year or so now, and her energy is exceptional and contagious. So Paula does scale and exit. Paula does business coaching. Paula does everything, actually. She's a bloody mastermind. So I really am excited to introduce her today. Everybody, this is Paula Wingate. Paula, welcome to the show.
Wow, what an introduction. How can I even match or meet that? That must be the best podcast introduction that anyone's done. So I'll take that.
Oh, Huffington bottle it. Thank you very much. Well, it's true though. Like, you've come into my world, you've helped me change my energy, and I know what a great impact that you've had on people that I know, and like people that I just know that are in your circle. So I think you deserve some adoration, and I'm here to give it to you.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that. My head's getting bigger. Quick, zap it.
We're not here just to talk about how sexy you are. See what I'm doing there?
I like it.
We're also here to talk about how sexy the accountants are, because I know that you have an amazing relationship with some accountants, and you help them with their clients grow, scale, exit their businesses. So what, I'm going to come back to this at the end, but what is sexy about accountants? Why do you work with them?
So I've been told I can't answer this, right? So I'm going to leave this to the end. But what I would say is I just fucking love accountants. And I'll tell you why. For any human being that can use a calculator and do all those maths, all those legal thought processes on tax and everything that interlinks, I just think they're amazing. You know, how can you think like that every day? It's just not normal, is it? You must combust at some point.
But, to pre-frame that, I had a meeting with Paula earlier, and I was literally using a calculator, and I was like, I'm still getting the maths wrong.
I got into a bank and I cheated to get into a bank, right? Just because of the calculator. So I could use a calculator. But then when you come through and you do all your 12 months cash flow forecasts, then all the tax rules that they need to know, then all the deadlines and all the I call it the razzmatazz, the magic behind what they do. Yeah. Wow, I'm in awe. I'm in awe of accountants.
I think you come from the same place that I do. Like, they do a job that I can't do, and I think they just don't appreciate that as much as they should. I cannot sit there. I've not got the patience, not got the attention to detail, not got the mathematical capabilities. I could, if I sat there for a million years, get the job done. But I don't have a million years. I've got other stuff that I need to crack on with.
Exactly. And when I'm looking at buying or selling businesses and I look at the annual accounts, I see totally different.
Yeah.
Accountants do their annual accounts, right? And customers' annual accounts. And I think, wow, I love it when it's plain clear for me, when you get the net profit. Like, there's so many accountants that lie behind the gross profit. Get the net profit in there. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's find out what's worth. And let's do the EBITDA right. But seriously, though, from what they have to go through and put it in, I mean, I love figures. I never used to like figures. I've grown to love figures.
Yeah.
And I just think, oh, what does these figures tell me now? So I don't know how the accountants feel, but when I'm in a presence of an accountant, I just love them. Just love them. I'm in awe of them.
I think the numbers, the story behind the numbers is such an important element to what they do. And I think that most accountants now are starting to realise that numbers are useless unless they tell the story. And I think that's a really important point. Yeah. I want to. You've changed in the nicest way. You've recently, and I say recently, within the past year, started to focus on exiting the business. You've done a lot of scaling, and now you're starting to help your clients with the exiting of the business. Why is that? I just want to get to the root of your passion.
Why is that? So I always like to challenge myself, grow myself, push my limits. And it's like a mindset change. So when I first came into coaching, I thought I was only good enough to deal with the startups. But I never realized, actually, you have to be a supersonic coach to actually get the startups results. You have to be on top of your game. So I thought, that's a good one. And then I started doing the scaling with the startups. So I had about 15 startups go to 6 figures within 2 or 3 years. And I thought, wow. And these are the people that were challenging themselves, not believing in themselves, all the usual stuff, self-sabotage. And I thought, well, if I can do that for them, I'm sure I can do scaling. And then I got a couple of opportunities on the £4 million scaling, the £10 million scaling. And there was one where I got brought in as a sales director as such, but a trainer basically, to move them from the 3 million run rate to the 5 million run rate. And I said, I'm giving myself 3 months to do this, or I'm free. And I thought, right, I'm going to do this against myself. And we did it. And we hit the 5 million run rate. And they said, Paula, how did you manage that? And it was quite simple, but I'll tell you that later. So that gave me a lot of confidence. And I just thought, you know what? My passion is selling businesses. I like doing deals. Why am I not doing that? And it just so happened that one of those friends introduced me into Transworld, and I was like, utopia. This makes absolutely sense. But then everything started to teach me at a higher level as a coach. So like pre-planning your business, scaling it for a reason to exit. Even if you don't want to exit, what's your exit plan when something kicks off or catastrophic kicks off? So all that happened basically. And every time I've been doing it, I do a 35-minute rule every day when I learn every day a new thing, 35 minutes every day, 7 days a week, 30 days of the month, 52 weeks of the year. And it's that 1%, that marginal gain, that 1%, I do something slightly different every day that improves me every day. So by the end of the year, it improves your performance by 3,678.02%, including compound.
Did you do that on a calculator?
I'll give you a bit of secret, right? I got one of my mates as a financial director, and I was like, work out the compound effect. So if you give me £100 every day, if you give me £100 and I improved it by 1% every day for like 52 weeks of the year, right? What's the result? And she came out with it. And I says, honestly? She went, honestly, prove it to me. So she worked it out day 1, day 2, all the way through. I thought, that makes sense. Then I started to test it on other people. And everyone's like, even like top posh people on maths. And they said to me, that's right. That's right.
Amazing. Like Mensa people, top posh people.
Top posh people know what they're doing. Top posh.
So when you went into the scale and exit side, it was such a natural fit. Like you couldn't have gone into something that was more you if you tried from an outsider's perspective. How's the journey been so far? Like, what kind of business are you working with? What challenges are you finding?
It's been great. The biggest challenge that I'm finding, that 83% of businesses that go on for sale, to sell, don't sell.
That's crazy.
go for sale, don't sell. And then if they do sell, 50% of them don't get through legal due diligence.
Wow.
So you've got these business owners that are thinking maybe 60 minutes ahead or a day ahead or a week ahead. And then all of a sudden they get hit with a notice of they've got cancer or someone's died or they've lost a leg or whatever it is. And then they can't run the business as they want to run the business. And sorry, I'm not laughing at that, Hilt. If you just listen to this audio, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that Kelly's office is falling apart.
Amazing. Great timing, office. Well done. Yeah.
See, it's the vibration I put out there. It just goes boom. But the accountants are going, oh my God, full of energy.
Loving the vibration, Paula.
So what I've been able to see, which really fits well for me, is why are we saying the business plan is the end, see the end in mind, like of selling or leaving your business, where we should be looking at. So like, who are you going to be when you leave your identity behind?
Yeah.
So when I'm working...
I've had two people on here recently talking about, one of them sold their business and one of them bought that actual business. And that's the thing that's come out. Like, they lost their identity straight away, overnight, like gone. It's a really weird feeling that you've grown something forever, invested so much of yourself in it, and then it goes.
That's it. And we don't look at the transition.
And you don't prepare for that.
No. And I'm just talking to the guy who sold a big business of like 21 million. And then there was another at 70 million. He said, Paula, no one actually told me what it'd be like once I sold my business. My mindset went down. I had nothing to do during the day. I was not tested or challenged. So what we generally do when we're working with companies is we look at, what does this really mean when you've lost everything you've been doing every day for maybe 10 years, 20 years, 2 years, 5 years? Who are you going to be after that? So that's what we've been doing. But it's been a big eye-opener on that.
Yeah, I think going back to the statistics that you mentioned earlier, I think 83%, did you say?
Yeah.
Don't sell, and then 50% that do go through don't get through the due diligence.
Yep.
That's nuts, because people who are scaling their companies and investing so much in there are probably doing it as a retirement fund. Like, they're probably like, yeah, like, this is going to set me up for life. And to not get through that must be devastating. Like, imagine how crippling that would be.
They don't even think of their business being a pension asset. They don't see it as an asset. They see it as just an income.
Wow, okay, wow.
So, like, most, it's only 20%. So there's 100% of planes in the sky that's got an exit plan. In every country, 100% of those planes have got an exit plan if anything happens, right? Only 20% of business owners are known to have a written exit plan. Now, I don't believe that stat, because every business owner I've spoken to have not got an exit or a succession plan. So I would love to meet these people.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody knows anybody, please introduce it to me, because I want to really tap into why they've done it in the first place.
The only one that I actually really know as a no-no was an accountant. And they had a succession plan. And a law firm. I worked with a law firm before, and they had succession plans because their partners buy into the company, and that's how they operate.
Introduce me to them. I'd love to speak to them to find out what was the trigger. Why did they do it?
It was really, I remember the transition, and I remember the new wave taking over, the young blood, and I remember it being really tough. Like, there was a lot of upset caused, not on purpose, but it was harder than just snapping your fingers and taking over. It's definitely, yeah.
Well, I work with a lot of professional footballers and football clubs, right? So just say Man United could have done this, a succession plan. They could have actually, and they probably thought they did with Sir Alex Ferguson, let's plan it when he leaves. But look at the cock-up they've caused, right? This is the way I would have seen it. Let's create a manager's academy.
Yeah.
And train them how to be like Sir Alex Ferguson. So, and then get them out there and start managing clubs under the philosophy of Sir Alex Ferguson. So then they've got then 5 or 6 people ready to come along to succeed and be better than him.
Well, that makes sense. But the analogy falls down because the only thing I really know about Sir Alex Ferguson is he threw a boot at one of the players. That happened, right?
He kicked the boot. He just happened to hit David Beckham.
Well, that's the person. There you go. But you know better than to talk to me about football.
So true.
So the reason, or one of the reasons I've brought you onto the show is because there's 2 things here. Accountants need to consider their own exit plan, and exit means everything from selling their business to having a succession and someone taking over to just closing it down. It doesn't really matter. Like, your exit is what happens when you leave, period. Yeah. So they need to have an understanding so they know what they're building the company for. So from a marketing perspective, if they don't know that, actually getting their goals and their marketing and their drive and the motivation to do stuff is really hard. So that's number one. Okay. But the other route is, what a valuable piece of knowledge and service to be able to talk to your clients about how they grow their business. And seeing as everybody has to have a slight shift into advisory as well as compliance, I think this is what it really means. Like, how can you support your clients on a deeper level? How can you get them to consider their future a bit more? And this is where understanding the numbers and telling the stories really comes into it. So from what you're up to at the moment, how can the accountants even spot the opportunities of where to have this conversation?
Yeah, so I'm going to look at it from my point of view as a business owner, so it can help the accountants. Now, accountants are brilliant at what they do. They do the numbers. The numbers, business is maths. So straight away, I'd be looking to think about, right, how old is my business owner? When are they going to retire? Have they asked them that? When are they going to start falling out of love? Do they see the signs of falling out of love? So you might see the fact that they might take ages to send the data over to the accountants, for example. Or if you're more heart-to-heart accountant, not just compliance and figures, you're more into relationship building, you start finding out the news of they might be ill. So there's those type of signs. Also, you might have a mindset of, why you set up this business? Well, I want to sell this business in 5 years' time. So that's the mindset of a business owner is at the top of the game. I'm setting this up, or I'm acquiring businesses to sell this in 5 years' time.
Yeah, that could be as simple as having it in your part of your onboarding discussions. Obviously, things change and it will need to come up again, but having that set at the forefront of your relationship, I want to understand where you are in your business, where you're going in your business, so we can help you get there. That will help you upsell them later. They'll probably need more services and provide a better service for the lifetime of that client. Like, it seems to be a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's what I'm seeing with accountants. If they can be more heart-to-heart, building connections, building relationships, there's so much free information that they will get, that they can see straight away what people are saying behind the words.
Yeah.
So it's like numbers. What is my numbers saying behind my numbers? And this is where they can do it in the fact find, build that conversation. I do an exit gap analysis on people before we do even an exit plan. And I always ask them this question. Have you got an exceptional accountant? And I've done about 100 of these so far, and everyone have said, nope, not got an exceptional accountant. Now, the way I see accountants, if you football analogy, sorry, Kelly, but
you can try it.
They're your goalkeeper. Or even if you do ice hockey, they're your goalkeeper. Or if you do netball, they're your goalkeeper. Yeah. So the accountants are the best person on the pitch to stop you scoring an own goal, stopping the opponent scoring a goal. Okay. And a couple of things I get where I say, I'm not allowed to contact my accountant between January and March. And this is an 8 million company that they've been told. And I'll go, why? Because they're far too busy. But what do you mean they're far too busy? Like, they shouldn't be far too busy. They're delivering a service. So what has the accountant not planned in their deliverables to be far too busy? And then how congruent are they being? Another issue with my accountant is my accountant doesn't speak to me often enough.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, just say they've signed on a compliance contract. Okay. As that message from the accountant to say all your contract is only including this? Or is it being the customer thinks that they get the full magic just for the compliance side?
People forget. I think this is so under appreciated. Even when your client signs the contract that you've sent over and it's a lovely proposal and it's got everything listed out on it, they still don't remember what they bought. They know how much they bought it for. They know the feeling that they expect to get from it, but they don't remember the detail of that agreement unless you keep reminding them. So if they've got access to further support, they don't know. And if they haven't, they still don't know. You have to keep helping them, guiding them along the way.
It's a great upsell, to be fair. So the report could be a great upsell to these. And just say for me, right, I needed my account urgently because I decided to go Christmas shopping for some stocking fillers and to come back with a new house. And my accountant...
That was a thing.
I did it. That's true. And my accountant always says, give me 3 months notice, Paula, and we'll make sure you'll have no problems buying a house. Well, I forgot about that part. So when it came, and it was between Christmas and New Year, by the way. So I was like to Shauna, Shauna, I need this, and this. And she was just clocking off for Christmas. She broke off for Christmas, right? So it was the 23rd of December, we told her this. And she was like, Paula, you're kidding me. Now, because I'm such a great connector with her, she did it for me. But just imagine if an accountant I didn't have a rapport with.
Yeah.
And I needed them.
Absolutely. And also, this is probably due to the fact that you are up to date with all your accounts. I wouldn't imagine if they were like 4 months behind and they didn't know what was going on with their books, that she would be able to help you. So it's about training your clients to be the best clients they can be, so you can be the best accountant that you can be.
You've spot on there, and I had to train my accountant to be the best accountant for me.
Interesting.
And what I mean, so my end of year is September, and I've said to him I want my end of year books done no later than the 31st of October.
Okay.
And I'm on a case until it's done because I want to know what figures I need to pay in tax. Yeah. Now, I know what figures I need to pay in tax. I'm very on it, but I never want a scenario where to beg an accountant to do it for me. She kept ignoring me, put me in a situation with VAT, and she blamed me. And it was the 31st of January where I had to go to her office, sit at her office to sign my stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, how much have you rushed this job? Because I don't want to be in the rush. So if the accountants can do it from where, like, make sure they do it the month after, they're never in a rush between January or whatever it is. It's all done.
I think there are going to be accountants listening to this podcast going, Paula, you sound like an absolute dream, and I wish my clients had as much interest in their numbers as you do.
Yeah, I get it because I work with business owners. But the biggest thing with accountants, and this is where we go back to 50% of them don't go through due diligence, is because of the figures. Now, that's not the be end and end all. Let me give you a couple of examples. Working with an £8 million company, and I just happened to say to them in a joke, thinking they won't be in this situation. I says, so someone's just tried to sell their business at 300k. It's a letting agency. And I said, and they've had this business for 16 years. And they also have got a big business that's worth like 2 million. I said, you never know what they did. They actually just mingled it into one of company accounts. I said, so when they're trying to sell the letting agency, they're telling me it's worth, they're doing 191k turnover and 23 grand net profit, but they can't prove it. I says, I'm looking for the last year 3 annual accounts from the stamped by the client, and they can't prove it. And I says, who would do that? And then my client went, yeah, we've done that too.
Oh.
we've got another 3 companies.
Yeah.
And I says, what's your holding account? Don't have an holding account.
Yeah, so it's all just merged into one that you don't really understand whose figures are for what or where the allocation of expenses are. It's a melting pot.
Yeah. So then it goes to, I'm going into my anal bit going, well, how do you know what decisions you're making? Like, you've got 3 companies. You've got a property management company, you've got a laundrette, and you've got safe storage company. But yet, how do you know one of them's not?
Profit?
Yeah. So if the accountants spot that, can the accountants please just go, right, what's happening with the holding account here? And then for me, it might be a tax reason why they don't do it, but just for the decision making, separate them. And then we know what the turnover, the net profit, the gross,
This all makes a lot of sense. I think going back to the motivation for the business owner is so important. This is what I keep coming back to. If the business owner doesn't know what they're trying to achieve, then the motivation to separate the accounts isn't there. The understanding that needs to happen isn't there. And they might have just grown and grown and grown because they're so focused on growing. The accountant is in a really good spot to say, you're growing, now let's look at what that means. But they sometimes need to be stopped. Not stop growing, but stop and just have a look at the business.
Yeah, I was brought into a company. It was like £4 million turnover. And I said to them, what's your net profit? And they said to me, and you could hear this ruffling around on the phone. I thought, they're looking through all the files. And it's around about 32 grand. And I said, what's it really around? Because what they were asking me to do is go in and grow the business.
Yeah.
But if I grew the business, and I think, just laughing at you again when you're falling. If I grew the business on the net profit of 3%,
then
97% of that extra money is going to go into the toilet again, and it's going to cause the business owner more stress, more longer hours, more worry, more anxiety, and potentially could fold that company into bankruptcy because I'm growing an inefficient company.
Yeah. And if you are looking for an insolvency practitioner, we have one that sponsors this show now. Callis Insolvency Practitioners.
Love it.
So you'll hear their details again at the end of this show.
Who was it again?
In fact, I might introduce you, Paula. There might be something there. So what are your tips then? So let's put accountants in this space where they're going to be talking to their clients more. They're going to want to get involved in what their clients or the decisions their clients are making. So what tips can you give them for spotting opportunities, opening up conversations, and just being the exceptional accountant that they think they need?
That's a great question. So accountants are like doctors. Whatever a doctor say, 99% of us believe them.
Yeah.
Accountants are the same. So this is where I'd be thinking of if I'm growing a business from an accountant's point of view. Where's the exit plans? Where's the succession plans? Where's the business plans? Where's the marketing plans? Where's the employee plans, right? For example, it's like marketing. If you throw mud against the wall and hope some of it sticks, you're only hoping it sticks. You're not actually driving it to stick.
Yep.
So I love accountants that are heart to heart, building relationships, getting nosy, because as soon as you have a chat with your customers, you get to see the signs automatically. The accountants will know the signs, even like cost of sales. Like, when did you last analyse why a customer's cost of sale, or what the customer sale is, or is it the cost of sale calculated right? So again, when I go through selling a business, I'll go into financial detail, and I'm like, this is a dog food company. And just say the turnover was 200 grand. They're saying that the dog food was worth 191,000 in cost of sales. Because I just put dog food cost of sales. But where's the marketing?
Yeah.
Where's the deliverables, if that makes sense? So it's like, that doesn't make, now as a buyer, or if I'm selling it as a broker, I need to find out what that is. And like they might pay referral fees out. Is that being put in there? Yeah. Or they might have to pay, they might pay you £1,000 marketing each month, Kelly. Does that get noted down? You know, is it broken down? Because then could we save 1% each year or 10% each year?
Yeah. It's you know this, and I think everybody on this that listens to this show, numbers freak me out. Like, I'm not a numbers person, and we have to appreciate that many other business owners out there, they're not numbers people either, you know? So they might be nervous about asking you questions that show them to be not as clever as they might want to come across. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. You know what? When I used to meet accountants, right, when I was like really brand new and a baby type of thing, I used to see accountants like eye up. I used to pat my pants. So papping my pants is in Barnsley's term of shitting my pants, right? Only because they might, yeah, only because they might ask me questions about numbers, and most business owners freak. Some of them have got dyslexic on numbers.
Yeah, dyscalculia. That's me.
That's and some people like freak out about numbers. Some people may even had a big problem like losing loads of money in the past. So when they see numbers, it brings that trauma back. And this is why accountants are so amazing at what they do, because this is the signs they've got to recognize to be able to relate to them, to be able to then help the business grow. I mean, I wish I was an accountant. You know, seriously.
I had to do an accounting module for my university program, and I was like, no, not ever touching that again. Like, and that was the point. I was like, I need to hire someone. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
But I want to explore this money mindset for a second, because you're absolutely right. Money, the talk of numbers, can bring up a lot of trauma. I was given. I'm just going to explain my trauma to kind of help people. But I was given dividends of a company that I am a shareholder in, my father's company. And it was only something small, like £100, £200. Well, it was really tiny. And when that free money came to me, I was shaking, I cried, I couldn't accept it, because I didn't have the capacity to have free money in me. Like, my money mindset was so bad that I could earn my money, but if it was given to me, I couldn't accept it. So there is trauma associated, like deep trauma associated with money in so many people, and it's not exclusive outside of the accounting profession. I've seen a lot of accountants and bookkeepers with trauma, money trauma, because of the stories that they get told from their mums, their dads, that it's deep. It goes very, very deep.
Well, just on the back of that, here's a tip for any accountant. Get a money mindset coach attached to your company, because even if I used to think I used to be crap at business because I was skint. I was under six figures, right? Of course, you're going to have probably money issues with cash flow if you don't run a tight ship, right? But then even the £1 million companies, I see the trauma there, because they've got to find the money to be able to scale and grow. So that's a whole different thing. And then I was actually helping a £1 billion a year company, and this guy's called Rupert, and he said to me, Paula, when is this business game any easier? When does it get easy? And I went, you tell me, Rupert.
We're on that journey together.
Yeah, you've got to this scale. Like, I'm only mentoring and coaching you. And I got, that was a big day to me, because he was acting like a company that was under 100K. He still had that trauma. He still had flashbacks of what happened to him. He was safe. He had everything. But the higher you got, the safer you feel, the more you could lose.
Yeah.
So if you can get a money mindset set to an accountant and make a fortune.
Yeah, I study money because I had so much trauma associated with it. I have studied it, studied. And because of the dyscalculia thing, like, numbers don't make sense. I can't hold them in my head. Therefore, I was afraid of it. And what I've come to realize is that people look at money differently. Some people are protectors of money, and some people need to live in the realms of with the excitement of money, so that they're spending money, but they're both valid, but they both need support from each other as well. So like just because you view money this way doesn't mean everybody does. And actually, if we work together, we could bring more balance to that mindset.
Yeah, big time. Did I tell you how I blagged away into where I've got to? Have I ever told you this?
So
I better not name the coaching company, right? But I lost. No. Well, anyway, I lost 125k in a day, right? And then it meant I was a 50k in debt. And what it turned out is I lost my family, I lost my home, I lost everything, right? And I became homeless. Like, you've been there, I've been there. And then I got back on somehow I set up a company. I quit my job, set up my own company. I thought, if I'm going to fail, I might as well fail in debt and do something that I love than fail in something that I hate. So basically, got myself back up, and then I got headhunted by this coaching company, and I had to go in as one of the 3 national trainers to coach their coaches. But what they didn't tell me is these coaches, some of them were earning 100k per client per year.
Right.
And I had to go in and coach them. Now, I was I'm from Barnsley, from a council estate, 4 GCSEs.
It's like
Exactly. And I had to go in and pretend I knew what I was doing, right? I've never been business trained, nothing. And I went in and they were talking about a certain make. And I said, "Oh, is that a new car you're buying?" He went, "No, that's a new helicopter I'm going to buy." "Oh, you don't like this?" And I says, "All right, okay, what type of helicopter and all that?" And I says, "Right, so what's making you get an helicopter?" And she went, "Oh, because I'm going from Hull down to Southampton every week. It takes me 7 hours or so. It'll take me like an hour in the helicopter.
Wow.
So I'm buying time." Wow. I was like,
Wow.
So, with money mindset, there's so many different ways to view it.
Like, a helicopter is an enormous cost, but that is relative to how much time and what that time is worth.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, if she rents out a helicopter, it's $5,000 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I says, "How much can you make in an hour?" She went, "Oh, easy 15,000 an hour."
Right. I'm getting goosebumps. I never liked talking about money. I never liked talking about what money can bring. I didn't like any of it. I came from a place of scarcity. Totally changed. It gives me goosebumps. I get excited by it. So I hope that the people who are listening, who might have some issues, I hope that you get to enjoy money as well. That's what I hope.
Yeah. What I would say is there's a life-changing book that changed my life. Can I say it, Kelly?
Yeah.
Now, I have to think of my dyslexia right. It's either the Mind of a Secret Millionaire or the Secret Millionaire. Anyway, T.R. Vecker. Get it?
Okay.
It's the life-changing book for accountants and for the clients.
Brilliant. So I'm just going to recap on today's, because we have talked and I've loved it. Like, it's been great. But just to recap, you can scale your own accounting practice to exit. You're going to have to leave it at some point. So start thinking about that sooner rather than later. If you learn how to help your clients and you deliver an exceptional service and become that accountant, you're also going to learn about it for your company along the way. I mean, that is a very useful piece of time. Most accountants aren't being exceptional. There's a massive lesson there. That's huge. Like, with your gap analysis, and nobody's saying they've got an exceptional accountant, like, blows my mind. What a sad space. So there is space there to be that person. And sort your money mindset out so you can help your clients sort theirs out as well. Have I summarised that well enough?
Love it, love it. And just encouragement of accountants. There's some market share that they can instantly grab here. So if they do the basics world class, and that's all it needs to become exceptional, right? Yeah. They are going to grab a lot of business from accountants that are not world class, not exceptional. Yeah, go on.
This is where the forward-thinking accountants. What do they say? We're forward-thinking. You can always talk to us. This is the service you need to be delivering to demonstrate and prove that you are that.
Well, that's just words, or is that actions?
No, that's it. It's just words currently. This is the action you can take to demonstrate you mean it.
Yeah. So if I was going to own an accountancy, I would totally make it heart-to-heart centered, build rapport with your clients, be there, hold their hand, support them when they need to, give them reassurance when you can. I appreciate you might not be able to set up a financial system in the business so that one of their pillars of business, their foundation, is rock solid, not soft-centered, not jelly.
Yeah, I like that. So, Paula, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? Where do they find you? And what support can you offer them?
Okay, this is a great question. So, Paula at influentialminds.co.uk, or you can find influentialminds.co.uk on the website. Or I'm always chirping on in LinkedIn, so
yes,
send me a DM. But this is what I would love to do. I love to help any accountants that want to chat, want to think differently about how they can get different ways of service to clients, etc. So I'm always open, doors always open for that. And also, if any accountants want to synergize with a business broker, I'm always there for them as well. So basically, in a nutshell, no matter what you want, open the door, give me a shout. I'm a good chatter.
Yeah. So Paula is what I would say is a super connector. Like, you are constantly connecting people. Like, there is no I can't. I've lost the words. I'm on HRT for the first time this week, and my words have gone. But you are a super connector, and you connect people just for the pure fact that you see that there could be something. Doesn't have to be something. There could be something. So you are a wonderful person to have in the world.
Yeah, I'm a giver, not a taker, as they say, but I'm a giver.
Right, I'm going to leave it there. Oh, no, shit. See, I told you I didn't know how to end it without this one question. And there I was going to end it without asking you. What's the sexiest thing about accountants?
Oh, my God. You guys are like beauty queens. Even if you're a man, you're a handsome queen. Purely and simply because what we've talked through today is you've guys got a unique skill that most people run away from. You can do numbers, you embrace it, you understand, even with dyslexics, numbers jump about, they don't understand it, they can't study, the mind is fully blank. You've got that detailed scientific brain to break it all down, make life easy. So I would say the reason why I love accountants is because they are marriage savers.
Oh, yeah.
And also with kids, they might stop them going on drugs. End of story. Well, I'm not even going down there, but that's how powerful they can be. If we break up a marriage, what happens to the kids? Kids might hit drugs, drink, whatever. They're lifesavers.
I'm going to talk to you about this off air. That's hilarious. Right. Over and out. Thank you very much for joining me. And for everybody else, I will see you next week. Paula, I want to carry that on. Take care.
See you later, guys. Bye.
And just a final word for me before I let you go. I wanted to say thank you so much for listening to Accountants Are Sexy. When I say your thoughts are the only thing that matters, I truly mean it, because this show is nothing without listeners, right? So please like, subscribe, comment, slide into my DMs. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want more of, and I will try and deliver. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed today, and I'll see you next week.